all the complexities, all the difficulties that I faced in other languages such as C or C++ or Java even, right? So Java is considered to be a very good language. Actually, it is a very good language, but when you learn Python, you kind of fail, like, okay, you can do the same, you can solve the same problem, same challenge in Python very easily. It's like that. So, all right. Then we have an environment setup, right? So I'll be telling you exactly if you are a newbie in Python, right? So how you are going to set up the Python in your system. Then we'll be having, the introduction to the basic structure of Python programming, example, how you start with Python, right? How you save the file, how run the program, and how you see it in the output window, right? It's like that. And then we'll be talking about some basic data structures, right? So basic data structures, like, I'm very much sure that a lot of participants have some programming experience, but in case if someone is not having, I'll be, dealing with that kind of thing also, right? There's a question from Priyam that how easy it would be for me to cope with Python if I don't have prior programming knowledge. Priyam, I will tell you that you are at absolutely right place, because Python is something that you have to start, because and it is the most suitable thing to start with. That is my answer to you, right? And apart from that, Priyam, I would like you to go with flowcharts also, because flowchart is something that helps you in building the logics, right? So all the languages, all the programming languages are built on top of logics first of all, right? So you need to build that logic thing. So when you learn programming language in a very short term period, generally logic is something which is assumed that you have, right? So I hope that answers your question, Priyam. Yeah, Prajwal, we have begun. Thank you, Priyam. Thank you very much. Yeah, Yogesh, I will share the recordings with you. Don't worry. Okay, thank you. And then we'll be talking about something called strengths, right? You need to listen to me carefully, everyone. I promise all of you that you will understand whatever I'm saying. Just give me your focus and attention and be with me, and let's have a parallel mindset. Let's share the brains, right? Let's share the brains. All right. And we'll be having some exercises and summary, right? Okay. Now, further, I would like to tell you that in case if you have some prior programming experience, it will be super easy for you to take up this programming or the course, right? So you can see this thing, right? You can learn it easily. All right. So can I ask my participants, right? Can I ask my participants, how many of you are new to programming language, or how many of you are learning Python for the first time, right? Can I ask my audience here so that I can see, I can plan out. Fine. Thank you, Sachin. Fine. There are a lot of people who are learning the Python for the first time. All right. All right, that's great, right? There's a huge response that I'm getting here. I'll try my best, to be precise about my training. I'll try my best, and I really encourage every participant here to just put on some notes here, right? So simply write down some key points, because what I've done. I have basically reduced the presentation slide kind of thing, and I have focused more on the practical part, right? And the very important part, every participant here is given an alert that just follow the sequence exactly, right? Just follow the sequence, right? So you need to follow the sequence. So first of all, here I'm talking about the Python part, right? So most of you have done R programming language, right? R is something that you have done already. So when you did R, that language is basically mostly suitable for analytics part or statistical programming. So I just want to tell you that R is something which is a mode of communication between a programmer and a machine, right? So if you want your machine to do something, you tell the same instructions to the machine using the R language, right? right? So R is something which you use for giving instructions to the machine. In the same way, the Python is another language, another beautiful language, which is used to give instructions to the machine, to the computers, and you get your work done by giving instructions in Python. So first of all, I welcome all of you in learning Python. And in this program, in this training program, I'll be teaching you, I'll be telling you exactly how you can communicate with the machine by writing instructions in Python language, right? So it's like that. Now, Python is, what is Python here? It's a small introduction here, right? And Python is basically the interpreted language. It's interactive, it's object-oriented programming language. So I'll just tell you exactly what does it means, right? So I'll just put more focus on the foundation part, right? Because it is your first time. So I'll just push more focus on the foundation part, right? And let's proceed further. So it says Python is an interpreted language. Now, what does it mean? I would like to show you something, right? Oops. I would like to show you here, right? Okay. Let's take an example of HTML, right? So when you execute HTML, right? I hope you have some idea about HTML, right? So when you execute HTML, the HTML runs directly, right? So the HTML runs directly. So this type of execution is called, interpreted, right? So here I'm talking about the interpretation. What is interpretation? The HTML code runs directly. So here, when we talk about Java part, it doesn't matter whether you know Java or not, but I want to tell you that when you run a Java code, it is basically converted into a intermediate code, which is a dot class kind of thing, and then you get the output or you get the response from the system. So in these two cases, what you need to observe is that here the code is directly getting executed without any intermediate conversion. Here in Java, the code gets converted into some intermediate code, and then you get the output, right? So there is it's a two-stage process, and it's simply code into output. So when a code directly executes, right? So without any intermediate file, so that is interpretation. So Python is interpreted, but I want to tell you, right? Python is a versatile language because it supports both compiled and interpreted execution, right? So you can compile a Python program or you can interpret it also directly. So it is versatile. Second, it is interactive. Now, what do you mean by interactive? Interactive basically means, you have a shell, right? I'll be showing you, okay, it's not available in my system, right? I'll be using Anaconda for that. I'll be showing you exactly what is Anaconda, and in Anaconda, I'll be telling you about what is interactive, like that. Then I'll be talking about the object-oriented part here. What is object-oriented? Basically, object-oriented is something that lets a developer build real-life applications, right? So you must have heard of C programming language, right? So C is something which is also a language, and Python is also a language. So what is the difference between C and Python? When you are a C developer, you cannot represent real life entities, right, in programming. So let's take an example of ATM, right? So ATM is a very beautiful example. We have ATM in real world, right? So how are you going to represent the functioning of ATM in programming? So to represent something which is real in programming, you need a feature which is called object oriented or being object oriented. So when somebody says Python is object-oriented, that basically means he's saying that you can build real-world applications or real-life applications, or in other words, you can represent real-life entities such as whatever it is, right? Whether it is a manager, whether it is a bank, whether it is a teacher, whether it is a smartphone or ATM, right? Or a government, whatever. So you can express any entity in real life sense in a language which is object oriented, right? So if something is not object oriented, you cannot express that thing. So this basically is the difference between being object oriented and being procedural, right? We call it procedural. All right. So I hope you understood this part. I'll just proceed further. Now there is a question, right? why we need to learn Python, right? Why it is important? Why we cannot learn any other language? Why not Java, or why not C++, or why not the other things, right? Why we are sticking at Python? Now there are certain reasons here that I have listed, right? So I'm just going to tell you the reasons exactly why you need to learn Python. So the first reason that I'm going to tell you is Python is multi-purpose. Now, what do you mean by multi-purpose? I'll tell you. Let's take an example of PHP, right? So PHP is one of the language which is very popular in the market, and but the problem with PHP is that you can use PHP for building websites only, right? So you cannot use PHP for building, let's say, Windows applications, right? So that PHP is not multi-purpose. So here we have Python, right? Python is a beautiful language. You can use Python for building Windows applications. You can use Python for building web applications. You can use Python for building embedded applications, right? So they run on Raspberry Pi or some IoT kind of devices. So it's beautiful, right? So one language, multiple solutions. It's like that. Now, the second reason, right? The second reason why Python is beautiful, or why Python is important, and that is being object oriented, right? So I really encourage, I really promote, and I really push this topic, object orientation, because this is the topic that has brought revolution in the software development, life cycle, you can say, or software development domain. Because when this feature was introduced, the developers could build the applications, and the applications which behave in a real world way. Then the third feature is interpreted, as I've already discussed. Interpreted is basically, you can simply directly get the output from the code without any intermediate conversion, right? So it's like that. Mr. Naveen, there's a question from you. Please explain OOPS concepts, right? So Naveen, I would like to explain those OOPS concepts, but the thing is that those are really very huge, and in very much detail. But definitely, I would like to give you the overview of exactly what OOP means, right? So here, the basic terminology behind OOP is that, so whatever you have in real life, let's say Naveen, you yourself is something, right? So Naveen, you are an object, right? So what is an object? Or Naveen, you belong to the category or the class called, let's say, student, right? So Naveen is an object of student class. What Naveen does, what are the characteristics of student? The characteristics of student is to attend the class, take the examination, mark the attendance. So Naveen does all the things. So how you're gonna express the same behavior of Naveen in by writing the codes, right? And that code will behave exactly like Naveen does. So for expressing all these things, we have certain concepts such as classes, such as objects, such as inheritance, polymorphism. We have abstraction, right? So all these concepts are related to our real life behavior. So all these things comes under OOPS. So I just gave you a fair idea about exactly what does OOP means, right? Okay, I hope that answers your question, Naveen. Thank you. Vishwanath, there's a question from Vishwanath. Is Python both interpreted and or compiled? If compiled, does it give an intermediate code? Yes. Vishwanath, there is see, Python is both interpreted and compiled. And when we compile a Python program, we get a compiled code, and that is called .pyc file. .pyc file, which is basically a bytecode file. So we have similar terms in Python for the intermediate file as we have in Java. So in Java and Python, we call it bytecode. There is a question from Nitesh also. He says that doesn't R have all the features of Python? Absolutely no, right? Absolutely no, because R is restricted to mostly statistical programming, and it is not used in a multi-purpose way, right? So Nitesh, R is a domain-specific language, whereas Python is a multi-purpose language. You can whatever you can do in R, you can do the same thing in Python, but whatever you can do in Python, you cannot do in R as well. It's like that. I hope that answers your question. Thank you. Then in the fourth point, what we have here, we have a focus on readability and productivity. I am telling you, right? So when you are lost in 10,000 lines of code, so it becomes really hard to read the code, or to to differentiate between the sections. Just to give you an idea, every day, I'm talking about the Linux kernel, right? Linux kernel, right? Kernel is the main software that basically drives the Linux operating system. So every day, approximately 3,000 lines of code is contributed in the same Linux kernel. So just imagine every day you're getting 3,000 lines of code from 1,000 developers at least, right? So when you have this kind of code push in your ecosystem, in your software ecosystem, you really want your codes to look more readable. And when it is more readable, it leads to more productivity, because it becomes easy to read the code. So it is very important. Okay, if you have done any C++ or Java programming, you can see the mess that the curly brackets or the flower brackets create, because there are a lot of brackets which are tangling around, so it becomes really difficult. Then in the fifth point, what we have here, we have batteries included. So what does batteries included basically means here? It basically means the libraries, right? Here I'm talking about the libraries. So I'll just take the reference from C++ or the Java here, or R even. In R, you have modules, right? So used for, doing various operations such as math modules, or, math libraries or graph libraries like that, like R plot you have for plotting the graphs. So in Java you have packages. If you remember, in packages are basically the libraries which gives you the functionality to perform activities or operations. In C++ mainly you have header files, for various operations such as math, or such as strings for string operations. So in Python, we call it modules, right? So we have modules here. So let's say if you're doing any activity, such as, let's say, if you're plotting a graph, right? So for that we have modules in Python, such as matplotlib or cborn. I'm just giving some technical jargons here. Don't get scared. We have a lot of modules here. We have modules for mathematical computations. We have modules for string manipulation. We have module for, let's say, data analytics. We have modules for machine learning. We have modules for graph plotting. We have modules for website development. We have modules for artificial intelligence, right? So for various domains, we have modules here. And as I've given you a number, 98,524 plus. This is the count of modules that we have, in Python. So the maximum number of modules, the more functionality you have available with. Now you can think of that, why Python is unrestricted programming language kind of thing. Then we have something called interactive shell. What is it? I'm going to show you the interactive shell in Anaconda part. Just allow me to move to the Anaconda thing. Abhay, there is a question from Abhay. He says that what is the difference between modules, packages, and libraries? Just for okay, so for this time, I would like to say that these all mean the same thing, right? So modules, packages, and libraries are just different words used in this for the same thing in different languages. I hope that answers your question, Abhay. All right. Now the final part is that Python is cross-platform. The cross-platform. Any idea about cross-platform, guys? Let's make it interactive. What does being cross-platform means? Yes, Reshma, these modules are open source. Yes, Ashwin, can run on any operating system. True, multi-OS, independent of operating system. All right. So when somebody says a language is cross-platform, that basically means the operating system, right? Operating system independent, right? So basically, Python can run on multiple operating systems, whether it is a Windows OS or whether it is a Mac OS or whether it is a Linux OS. So Python can run on multiple operating systems. Yeah, Vishnu, I'll come to your question. Now, guys, see, the point is that if you think as per the business perspective, what does cross-platform basically helps, or where is the benefit of being cross-platform? So let's say if I am developing a product for my clients, right? Let's say a commercial product that I want to, just push into the market, and I want to, earn some revenue out of it. I want that product to execute on as many customers as much it can. So let's say, just to give an example, let's say .NET, right? .NET is one of the technology that we have in the market. So that is mostly Windows competitive or Windows compatible, right? So if I stick to .NET mostly, so that product will be available for Windows users, right? Because .NET is not fully compatible with Linux or Mac. So in that case, my product selling will be limited. So if I go with a technology which is unrestricted of OS, so I can sell the same product to, to the multiple users of different operating systems. So that's how it will lead to, multiple sales, you can say like that. So that's how it's a commercial benefit. All right, so there are a lot of questions here. I'll try to answer all the questions slowly. Okay. Rishma, there's a question. You say that modules are open source. Yes, modules are open source. And yeah. Devanjan says, from OOP point of view, does Python any difference from Java? Devanjan, I would like to answer you in this way, that the concept of OOP and the meaning of OOP is same as Java, but the difference is there is a slight difference in implementing the concept, right? In as compared to Java. So we don't, not all the concepts are implemented in the same programming logic as we do it in Java. All right. Uh, okay, there are a lot of questions that I'm trying to answer. Python is platform independent. Okay, there's a question mostly about OOP. There's a question mostly about OOP, right? So I'll just try to push more light on OOP concepts here, right? So when we talk about OOP part, guys, right? When we talk about the OOP part, the concepts come into the picture, such as the classes and objects. So I'll take an example of classes and objects, right? So classes and objects are something that are the real world entities, right? So we have classes in real world, we have objects in real world. So I'll just give an example. Let's say student is a class, and let's say John is an object, right? So when we say student is a class and John is an object, so I need to do the same thing. I need to represent the same thing in programming, right? So how will I do that? So in that case, I need something. I need a coding terminology, a coding strategy, which will help me in expressing the same thing in codes. So for that, we have classes and objects in Python as well. So we have those concepts in Python because Python is OOP. And there are a lot of questions here, right? Okay, so okay, I'll try my best, right? Okay, there are a lot of questions. Okay, interactive shell, right? There's a question from two participants here. What is interactive shell? I will just answer this question here using the Anaconda prompt. Okay, there's a question. What is interactive shell, right? So just look at the screen here, and I'll answer you this. And I'm coming to the other questions, right? As much as I can. So you can see a terminal here, a command prompt here, right? Right. So you can see a terminal here. I'll simply type Python, and here you can see triple arrows here. You can see the prompt here. Now this window is called shell, right? It is called shell, right? Why it is called shell? I'll tell you. And what does interactive means? So you can see here that I'm writing some codes here, and when I write the code, I instantly get the output, right? Can you see that? When I write some code, I can easily get the output. Now, if you remember the R program, or if you remember the Java program or the C++ program, what you used to do is you used to create a .r file, or you used to create a code file. You used to save the file. You used to compile or execute the file. So there was a process in execution, right? You were writing the code in a code editor, saving the file, compiling, executing the file. So with this shell window, what I can do is I can simply directly interact with Python by writing the code here, right? So let's say print something else. So here in this window, I don't need to save the code. I don't need to write a separate command for compilation or execution. So this window using this window is called shell, I can directly interact with Python, right? It's like that. I hope that answers your question, everyone, about what does being interactive means. Yeah, RMV, you said that Java 8 has also shell. Now RMV, just imagine Java was launched in 1995. After approximately 18 plus 5 years, we are getting shell, right? Isn't it? Don't you think it's too late to introduce the same thing? All right, I'll, I'll, I'll go with the Hazrat Ali. There is a question from Hazrat Ali. He says that how different is Python from R? R is a lot different from Python, because in R we have domain specific library, as I've told you earlier. We do statistical programming. We do regression in Python. We do sorry, R. We do a lot of mathematical things in Python. In R, I'm sorry, I'm going back to Python again. Okay, fine. Python is ruling my brain. R is mostly for, you can say data analytics, right? You cannot develop, a website in Python, let's say. You don't have, the kind of extensive machine learning library or artificial intelligence available in Python, in R. So we have all these things, in Python. I hope that that answers the question, Hazrat. There are a lot of questions. I'll try to answer all the questions, right? I'll just proceed further. Nagaraj, I'm sorry, we're not going to have any session on Python Porto. True. Okay, I'll come to this Anaconda thing, right? Just allow me a moment. All right, I'll just stop this. Okay, guys, everyone. This slide answers, a lot of questions here, like how R is different from Python, or how Python is different from R. So, here I've given a lot of domains on the left side, and on the right side we have the solutions in Python, right? So whether you're interested in web development, we have solutions in Python. If you're interested in GUI development, we have solutions in Python. If you're interested in scientific or software or system administration, we have solutions, right? So yes, this course covers mostly all the important topics related to fundamentals of Python. I like to say it like that, and I'll try my best to go in depth as much as I can. All right, I'll just proceed further. Hope you have understood the modules here, right? I'm not going to read all the modules because it's useless to read. I'm just going to make you understand exactly the solutions we have in Python. It's like that. I'm sure you've not heard of various solutions like this in R, like that. I'm not degrading R. R is beautiful, but I love Python, like that. Thank you. Well, just to convince you more, right? Just to convince you more, who uses Python, right? So here there are some of the big giants in the market, in the world, who are using Python for their computing, for their extensive computing, for getting their business run, right? So we have Mozilla, Google, Yahoo, IBM, NASA, and a lot of companies, right? So if these companies are convinced with Python, why not we? Like that. Okay, let's proceed further. Oh, wow. So here we have something, right? So we have a practical lab, and so that is a sound hiss that comes from Python generally. Yeah. Sunil, we can do predictive modeling in Python as well, right? For that, we have a beautiful library in Python called scikit-learn. Sometimes we call it sklearn as well. All right, everyone, participants, right? So here I'm proceeding further with the environment setup. I'm going to tell you exactly how to push the Python into your systems, right? So I'll try to be in detail as much as I can. Yes. So here we have environment setup. It was really hard for me to learn the spelling of environment in my initial days, right? But I can do it now. Okay, so here we're talking about environment setup, right? Or in simple words, software installation, right? So here we're talking software installation part here, right? You can install core Python, and you can install a distribution here, right? So just giving you a small overview here. So the Python is available in two forms here, right? So there's something called core Python, and there's something called distribution, right? So what is the difference in these two versions here? I'll tell you, right? So when we say core Python, it will install standard Python. When I say standard Python, it basically means some basic libraries, right? So such as for doing the math, for doing the string operations, for simply input output, you will get the basic libraries. You will not get specialized libraries, right? So such as you will not get sklearn for, let's say, machine learning, right? And you will not get, let's say, Seaborn for graph plotting kind of thing, isn't it? So you will not get these libraries in your core standard installation. But if you go with a distribution, right? When I say distribution is Python plus all major popular libraries. This I hope this should clear the difference between the core Python and the distribution. So when somebody says distribution, that basically means is giving you a box full of all the sweets in it, like that, right? So here Anaconda is a distribution. So when I say Anaconda is a distribution, this basically means it includes Python plus all the major popular libraries, right? So I'm just going to show you exactly how you can get, uh, you know, Anaconda thing. And there's a question from Keshava. He says that is it not possible to add the modules as and when it is required? Like, yes, Keshava, obviously and absolutely it is possible, right? And all the time it is possible. Generally, it depends, right? So it depends in what approach, right? Using what kind of approach you want to proceed. So everything is possible as such. Yeah, we can, right? So there is a command for that, Keshava, right? Python -mpip install, right? Let's say sklearn. This is the kind of command that we have in Python for installing the specific libraries, right? Like that. Just giving you the idea, right? So don't get confused, everyone. Don't get confused. So I'll just show you the practical things here, right? So I'll just go to python.org here, right? So this is the beautiful site we have here. So this is for, all right, I'll just try to be core Python, right? So here we're talking about the core Python. If you're interested in installing core Python, you can simply go to python.org, and from the download section, you can download the 3.7.2 version, right? So this is the source, right, from where you get the Python thing. But in this program, in this course, I think it is not encouraged to, do this step. But just for the added information, I just told you this thing, right? All right. So sorry, we are not installing. All right, so we are going with the distribution, right? We are going with the distribution. Hello, distribution, right? Jyoti says, do we require any system specifications to download and use it? Jyoti, I'll suggest that you must have at least 2 GB of RAM. That is the minimum that is required. Apart from that, generally in 2018, we are supposed to have at least some dual cores or i3 processors, right? So do not practice this thing in Pentium 4 or 3. It's really dangerous. Sometimes, you get kind of nausea. I hope that that answers your question, Jyoti. Anaconda.com. So here, this is the website anaconda.com. So I'm going to go here and going to just show you the magic behind this website. So I hope everybody is clear with the distribution part, right? So guys, my question to all of you, do you understand what is a distribution? Type in the chat window. Thank you, Suman. Thank you, Asim. Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you, Anjay. There was a question why it has a snake in it, you know. I'll ask, right? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. It's not cloud-based, Rahul. It's offline right now. It's offline. Yeah, thank you. You know, I can see a lot of answers here. Everybody is, you know, active. Mahabir, I'll try. You'll get the recorded session, Mahabir, right? All right, fine. That was humorous, Sujit. Beautiful. So Raghu says, is it IDE? Yes, I'll say like that. It contains a lot of IDEs, right? So Raghu, Anaconda contains IDEs such as Jupyter, such as Spider, right? So we have some collections of IDE within the Anaconda. I'm going to show you. Thank you, Swaroop. That is beautiful. Thank you. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. Abhishek Yadav, that is your question. What is IDE? IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. It's basically an IDE contains a code editor plus compiler, and some more functionalities, right? So such as Turbo C in your academic days, or NetBeans or Eclipse, right? Or Jupyter in Python, or there are a lot of IDEs which are available. Yeah, Rajesh. Yeah, recently, it is not recent. It has been a long time. They have been publishing a lot of webinars on their Python distribution. So, yeah, Rajesh, that is a customized, Python distribution from Intel, which is optimized for Intel hardware, like that. Sarad, there is a question from Sarad, why we are considering Jupyter for this course, why not PyCharm or other IDs? Sarad, I would like to answer this question this way, because this is a training session, and in training sessions, I'm going to use a lot of small programs in terms of code snippets. So those are easy to view and understand in Jupyter. Yes, definitely PyCharm is really beautiful, and it is one of the best IDE we have available for Python. But the difference is that PyCharm is mostly used for full-fledged project development, right? So if you're developing a full-fledged project, in that case, you're not supposed to work on Jupyter. You're supposed to work on PyCharm-like softwares. But for my viewers who are beginners, I strongly recommend and suggest to work on Jupyter. All right. Yes, Pawan, I'll ask the upGrad team to share the PPTs as well. Yes, comparatively, Python is faster. NJ, you say that why there are too many IDEs. So basically, it's like saying why there are too many Android smartphones. Why not one? It's a competition which is going on in the market. The best IDE for Python is obviously PyCharm from JetBrains, right? So they have very good IDE available. I'm going to show you, Bharti, what is Jupyter. In industry, we mostly use PyCharm in most cases. It depends. At the student level, people use Sublime, people use VS Code, sometimes Notepad++. Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'm done with this, right? I'm just proceeding, right? I'll just go to the download section here. Where are you? Download here. It is download here at the top right corner, right? So I'll just go to this section here and click on distribution. And hey guys, look at this beautiful. It's not beautiful. It's black and white. It's colorless. Okay, let it be. Okay, you can see some fancy titles here, some technical jargons here, such as Jupyter, Spider, NumPy, SciPy, Numba, Pandas, Dask, Bokeh, HoloView, and a lot of things. So see, this Anaconda contains all these tools and technologies, right? So this is something why we call it a distribution, right? Like that. Okay, so here we have two versions available for Anaconda. We have the Python 3.7 version, and we have Python 2.7 version. I will be going with the Python 3.7 version. So 2.7, there is a slight difference in 2.7 and 3.7 in terms of code writing, right? So there is a slight syntactical change somewhere, right? So 3.7 is something that I would like to go with, and I will suggest to go with the 64-bit graphical installer, right? And yeah, there is a Mac. Okay, it's a Mac one, right? So you can see here, right? It's available for Mac, Windows, and Linux. So you can go with the OS according to your system architecture. Pawan, there are not as such major differences, but slightly code tweaks, right? But it leads to instability, right? Guys, remember, when you're working on two different versions, like 3.7, 2.7, 2.7 and 3.7, there will be code instability, right? So there will be a stability issue in the codes. Yeah, mostly 2.0 is ruling the market because it is old. It was available earlier. 3.7 is compared to newer, and it is being adopted at a very rapid pace. All right. So guys, you'll be downloading the setup from here, right? And once you do that, I'm going to do a magic, and suddenly you'll get files like this, right? Yeah, you'll be downloading the 3.7 version, right? It's not as such. It's not mostly backward compatible. You may face issues, Nikhil. So guys, I have two Anaconda here, one for 32-bit and 64-bit, and one for 32-bit kind of thing. So mostly you all are going to have 64-bit version in your systems. So download the 64-bit version, right? Pawan, in some cases we require the code change, right, between the 3.7 and 2.7. Not in all the cases, but generally it leads to error, right, when you get yourself involved in this kind of versioning thing. So guys, this is the setup for Anaconda, and it's really easy to go with the graphical installer because you just need to press next. You need to press I agree, right? It's like we don't have choice here. Obviously, we'll be click on I agree. Simply click on next, and simply click on install, right? So this is how we do it, right? So when you click on install, you're going to see a magical progress bar, going further from left to right. So as it completes its journey, the Anaconda will be installed in your system. Srikant, you can go with the 3.6, right? No worries. So Nitesh, you can see in the screen, right? So when you download the setup, it looks like this. And if you double click on that setup, you will see a graphical installer. You're not supposed to do any changes here, right? So you simply click on next and then finally install. Thank you, Ananda. It really motivates me. Mithilesh, do not miss the path environment, right? Otherwise, it will be a little hectic for us to manage the path. Yeah, you can, right? You can generally, you can click on this checkbox also, but it's not recommended mostly. But I'm not digging into that part because I have a lot of things to cover. I think a lot of better things to cover, right? Fine. So I just canceled the installation because I have it already installed. So you can see here, once the Anaconda is installed, it is Anaconda Navigator we have here, right? So this is something that you're going to look for after, you know, after installing the Anaconda thing. So I'll just click on that, and here in the middle of the desktop, you will see a beautiful splash screen. So I'm just taking a pause of 10 seconds here, right? All right. Are 10 seconds over? I think. So I already have Anaconda installed in my system. How do I know which version you have? I'll just tell you that thing. That's a beautiful thing. Okay, everyone. This is the Anaconda Navigator, right? And here you are seeing some tools or some products for which are already built in within Anaconda. Even you have R Studio here, right? So I'm sure, very much sure that you remember the R part. So you used to code in R Studio, so that is available here. Apart from that, I would like you to take to the environment part here. And when I take you to the environment part, can you see this first column here, this name column? These are the libraries that you get as a gift with this Anaconda. So we can see that we have a lot of libraries which are available here, right? Shwetank, just take the update. It's free, right? Just take the update. Okay. So we have a lot of libraries here, right? So I just recommend you to have a tour of this library in case if you want. I'll just proceed further. So here I'm going to home part, right? So this is home. And for the Python programming, right? Everyone, for the Python programming, I'm going to use this one, right? Jupyter. Jupyter is one of the beautiful web-based IDE we have available. And for the training and academic purposes, Jupyter is the best IDE that you can use, right? And there is a question from Pawan, how to add libraries in the Jupyter lab. I'll just show you, right? So here I'm going to click on launch button here, and it is going to launch Jupyter. So in the next 5 or 7 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to work on Jupyter, right? And believe me, right, when I learned this Python thing, I was not working on Anaconda earlier. So I had to, manually install Jupyter in my core Python. It was a little tedious, but I got along with it and it was installed finally. Now, when I see Anaconda, it makes my life, a donut, a sweet, because you don't have that much stress to work on. Okay, so let's launch it. So here I'm launching. Vishnu, I think during the remote desktop hosted cloud-based training assignments, there's a team of excellent people who will be guiding you through. All right, so we have a lot of things here, right? Okay, I think I must delete all these things earlier. Okay, let it be. Fine, guys. So this is Jupyter, right? Yeah, but I'll answer you, right? So this is Jupyter, right? So this is the interface looks like. It's a web-based interface, right? You can simply start with new, and you can simply click on Python 3. That's how you can start, or else you can click on folder here, right? And you can create a folder, right? So it creates untitled folder like this. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep it simple, guys, right? I'm not going to mess with all many options here. So I'll just take you directly with the coding part here. I'll go to new and I'll click on Python 3 here, right? So that's how we start, right? That's how we start with this notebook, right? So Python 3. Once I click on the notebook, right? So I'm going to see another window like that, right? And it has just started, right? So while you are working on Python, right? So here it is, notebook, you will see this kind of window, right? So these are the cells, right? So you can simply, write codes here. So I'm just going to show you exactly some code snippets here, how we work here, how we get across, right? And this is the name of your notebook, right? So you can just simply hover your mouse here, right? So if you want to rename your notebook, you can simply click here and you can say my first notebook, right? So like that, right? Yeah, Jishnu, we can change the working directory. That's absolutely true. So this is my first notebook, and I'm just going to rename it. You can see here, it says my first notebook. And here, this is the cell where I'm supposed to write the codes here. So let's start with printing the hello world message, right? So let's print the hello world message. And for your information, this is the comment, right? So by using the hash symbol, we create comments in Python, right? So just to write some descriptive statements, right? So this will be ignored by the compiler and will not be treated as error, right? So it's like how we start hash. Hope you understood. So for printing a message, right, I'm going to, simply write call the print function, and in the double quotes, I'm going to, say a message here. Hi, this is hello from Python. All right. So this is a built-in function, guys. So mostly while learning Python, you're going to deal with built-in functions, and these built-in functions are provided during the Python installation, right? It's already installed, and this is a message that I want to print here, right? So hi, this is hello from Python. And if I want to see the output, I can simply click on run here. You can see, so when I hit the run, so it displays the output in this way, right? Just understand the behavior. And this is the reason why I love Jupyter, because instantly you get the output and very close to your codes like that. So you don't have to move your eyes, or move your eyes in a circular way to find out exactly where I'm seeing the output or where I'm getting the output like that. So it becomes easy for us to manage the codes and the output like that. All right. Now, so yeah, there is something called kernel, right? Kernel is basically a software program which is responsible for running this notebook. Make sure it is running, right? So if it is not running, so I'll just shut down. Okay, just some troubleshooting, right? I should not be doing this. See, no kernel, right? So when it says no kernel, that means there is no engine which is attached to this website, to this notebook, who will be executing the Python codes. That means it's a bad time. So I'll just restart the kernel, right? Kernel restarting, kernel ready. Okay, let's check. Okay, it's running, beautiful. Okay, now everyone, so here is a quick tip, right? New to programming, so in that case, stick to syntax, right? So this is something that I encourage my participants to observe, right? Every time you learn something, please stick to syntax, right? So when I say stick to syntax, what does it mean? Python is case sensitive, so it's case sensitive, so it's print, right? It's not print. Wrong, bad, boo, right? Good. Right, so here you can see the P is capital. It's wrong because it's case sensitive, right? And print, right? This is also wrong, right? No. So spelling mistakes, right? Do not do spelling mistakes, guys. So these are general errors, right? General guidelines. When you're starting with any programming language, you need to stick to syntax. You need to stick to it, right? So just have a sharp eye. Have a sharp eye over the code, right? What you are seeing and what you're writing. So just keep this thing in mind. So in case if you do something bad, so let's say if I skip the bracket here, and if I click on run, this is how the error is displayed in the Jupyter. But generally it takes some time to understand all these errors. It takes certain experience to understand, okay, this is something that there is something which is understood now. Right now for the beginners, it will be a little difficult to understand exactly unexpected EOF. So when somebody says EF, it becomes really confusing. What is EF, right? It means end of file, like that, right? So just skip it. So to avoid all these confusions, just stick to syntax. And the shortcut here, right? The shortcut here is shift plus enter, right? So this is something that I'm going to use frequently. So if you don't see my mouse, going to this beautiful button and clicking it, and you are seeing the output automatically, that's because I have pressed shift enter, right? So shift enter, like that, right? I hope everything is going uh, in a smoother way, right? So guys, just checking. So everybody is up and active. Just respond me, guys. Is everything clear? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Ajay. Thank you, Rajendra. Thank you, Sujit. All right, that's great. There are a lot of participants with good enthusiasm. I can see, right? So I can feel it, right? All right, great. Thank you very much, right? Thank you. Uh, yeah, Bhuvnesh, I'll definitely share the list of cheat sheets. All right. You know, there is a question from Mudit. He says that how to do on Chrome instead of Explorer. It's asking for PIN or password. That's true, exactly. You know, in that case, okay, I was just checking it out actually. You know, there is a key actually, right? There's a key which you need to, pass along with the URL to work on this notebook, right? I'll just answer you exactly from where you can find that key. All right, Amit, you are saying you are right, right? Shift enter takes you to the new cell, and whereas control enter simply displays the output in the same cell. That's true. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some basic data structures here, some basic, you can say, data types, right? Hey guys, now here's the deal, right? So here is the point that we manipulate or process data and we get the output, right? So this is from an holy old book. Right? So I got this message from, got these lines from, some 1,000 years old book, that we manipulate the data. We are the programmers, we are the software developers, right? So we manipulate the data, we process it, and we get the output. This is what we do, right? So before this, the prerequisite is that you need to store the data. And here comes variables to the rescue, right? Like int num equals to 100. Remember, guys, I hope you remember all this stuff. So just trying to, keep the pace simple and easy to understand. So, okay, so I just got lost in the questions here. Himadri, the PyCharm is beautiful. Spider, better than Spider. Okay. So you need to store the data. For that, variables come to the rescue. And when we talk about the variables, here we have an example here, int num equals to 100, like that. So we do have the same data types in Python here, but we don't mention the data types explicitly. What I'm trying to say here is this. Hi, this is string. So you can see here, right? You can see here that I'm using a variable here, let's say message. I'm inserting a value here in this message, right? And I'm printing the message. It says, hi, this is string. But unlike any other programming language, I'm not mentioning the data type here. Remember, I'm not, just observe this thing. I'm not pushing or specifying a data type, right? Because in Python, the data type are implicit, right? So that means they're automatically, they do exist internally, but they don't exist externally, right? It's like that. Now I'm going to show you a very handy function here, right? A very handy function to check the data type of any given object, right? So for that, there is a function called type. So type is a function, which is responsible for returning the data type of that particular thing. And believe me, guys, believe me, it's a magical function. It is going to be handy all the time. So just in case if you're curious exactly like what is the data type, what do you call a message? What data type do you call for this variable message? So we can extract from that type function. I'm going to print the value of this type. Whatever it is going to return, I'm going to print it, right? Okay, so let's do it. 1, 2, and 3. All right, so here it says string, right? So here str is basically a shortcut for string, right? And remember, everything is an object, right? Although I can feel that many people are new to OOP, right? So still, right? So everything is an object in Python. So because everything is an object and objects are associated with the classes, so that's why we have the keyword class here. Just forgive me for any technical thing, right? Just telling you, right? So everything is an object in Python and objects are associated with the classes. That's why we have the class keyword here. So this variable belongs to the class called string, or in simple words, right? Let's keep it simple. It's simple. It is integer. Oh, sorry. Oh my God. String. Yeah, Kasim, I'll share the whole notebook with you. Don't worry. All right, let's proceed further, and I'm going to show you some more beautiful things from the Python part. So let's see what we have here. Let's say age 21. We have a price. Let's say 12.5. We have a message. Let's say a Python, right? And we have uh, you know is delicious. All right, true. Boolean, right? Okay, Kasim, I got your point, right? Kasim, I'll save, generally I'll save the notepad thing, right? I'll try to save it. Fine. Sure, got your query. So here I'm just going to use some, variables with different messages, right? So I'm just going to show you the values here, right? Print age, print price, print message. Oh, sweet. Print message. Print is delicious. All right. And here is the beautiful thing, right? So, you have this output here, which is absolutely good. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, show you the type of these derives. Yes. I'll answer the questions, right? I'll answer the questions. Just allow me a minute. Okay, sweet. All right, great. So here, all right. So here, this is the type I'm going to show, and here this is the type you can see here. For the age, it says integer. For the price, it says float. For the Python, it says string, and for the true with the capital T. Remember, guys, capital T, right? So a lot of new beginners, are going to use the small t. For that, we have bool, right? All right. Now I'm going to answer some more questions here. Sachin, it is absolutely not recommended what you are thinking of, right? Do not ship your code. Do not ship your production codes into Jupyter. It's not at all recommended. Although and obviously you're not going to, ship the same notebook to the client, right? Never ever do that, because it's not the right platform to execute the projects here, right? It's just meant for, snippets kind of thing, or the testing kind of thing, right? Like that. Yeah, Bala, you get the recorded sessions. Yeah, we do have that, Satish. We do have. Keshava, we don't need to install Visual Studio, right? Visual Studio is for Python. All right. So I'll just proceed further with some more things here. Yes, with a cross-platform basically includes Android as well, but unfortunately, Android doesn't, pushes Python by default. So I need to install it separately. Yes, Soptic passed. Okay. Okay. I'll just answer, right? Anonymous, certainly, yes, we're going to use Jupyter for this session. That's true. What is Anaconda? Anaconda is distribution, right? Is Python faster? Yes, it is faster. Uh, okay, I'll just answer the most important ones here, right? Just prioritizing to shorten the answer timing. Ashish, PyCharm is recommended, right, for professional development. Abhijit, data structures are basically the mechanisms or the solutions for storing different types of data, right? Such as integers or floats, decimal values, or the character values, like that. So I'll answer your question, right? I'll answer that question. Yeah, Venkat, I'll just answer your question also. So Sanjay, if you give alphanumeric value, it is going to be string. I'll just answer. Naveen is not recommended, although you can do that, but it's not recommended. Okay. So here I'm talking about concatenation part, right? Concatenation. I hope everybody is understood till here. Concatenation. Everybody is asking me exactly how we can combine the things here. So let's say a user. Let's say we have Jatin, and a profile. Let's say he is analyst, right? Print hi, and then we have a user. Welcome to, and then profile. All right. So guys, just giving you a small overview exactly how we can, concat the values in Python because you're new. So generally, like any other programming language, we're using plus here. So plus is for concatenating or merging the multiple values together. So it says, hi, Jatin, welcome to the analyst job, like that. And there are a lot of beautiful data types we have in Python, such as list, dictionary, sets, tuples. So these are some basic data structures we have. Thank you, Sandhya, for your prompt answer. Okay. Yeah, Kritika, we can upload the whole folder as well in Jupyter. Fine. Okay. How to write multi-line comments, right? So this shows multi-line comments, right? So you can use triple quotes here for writing the multi-line comments. So Mithilesh, you have a very nice question. If we have strings and numbers, can we use plus? No, we cannot, right? So when you are, working with a plus, there is a condition that so plus says both operands must be string, right? So this is the condition, right? So it's like the condition in plus. So what you can do is you can do it like this: print hi user, welcome to job. So here the beauty of Python is that we have various ways of concatenating the values. I know at least 4. So I'm just sharing the 2 here because we have a lot of other beautiful things as well. So you can use comma here. Comma is independent, right? So comma doesn't ask you to have the same similar data types like in the operand size. So you can push or put any variable of belonging to any data type, right? So it just concats the values. Yes, Sai Ganesh, there is typecasting obviously because it is always there. Twink, the spider and Jupyter are not same. Yes, Salai, you are absolutely right. That is also a docstring, but docstring is that the docstring has to be in the first places or in the first lines of the function or the document, but multi-line comments can be anywhere. Ravindra, the edit direction is going to give you kind of line numbers, right? You can see line number 8, right? So there's a question from I forgot the name. He asked me that how we can detect the errors. So this is something which can be helpful, or this is something which can be helpful. Okay, Srikant. Okay, there are a lot of questions which are coming. I'll try to answer. What is a doc string, right? So in order to tell you what is a doc string, I'll just show you this thing, right? Can you see a description here, right? So there's a question from participants. They're saying what is a doc string? Doc string is basically a description of a function, of a built-in function. So when you proceed further in Python, you're basically told exactly how to, provide a doc string for user-defined functions, right? So we can do that. I hope that answers your question. Ramesh, companies use PyCharm mostly. Yes, you can, use debugger here, right? We do have that thing, right? But right now, not into debuggers, just keeping the thing simple, right? Not the simpler, but simple. All right. So shall we proceed further, guys? I hope everybody is okay till here. So Uptake, Jupyter can handle runtime errors by using try and accept block. We have try and accept. Okay, thank you very much. It's really helpful to see a lot of yes, because I can simply proceed further. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you for your active participation and active concentration as well. Right. So your attention really motivates me to push further. So let's make it interactive. So I've added some more cells here, right? So, you know, when you're into notebook, right, just go through the options, right? So I invite all of you to the tour of a notebook, and I just want you to do something called R&D. So that basically stands for research and development, right? So it will help you in getting deeper and deeper, right? Okay. Anjani, your question is really long, right? So I'm really sorry I cannot answer in this session because debugging the large codes takes a longer time. Okay, so here I'm talking about the interactive programming, right? Here I'm talking about the interactive programming here, right? So here I'm just going to show you for some codes how you can accept the input from user, right? Accept the input from user, right? So, and you can make your program interactive. That's where the fun lies, isn't it? It's really boring to work with the static values. So let's make it interactive. So in Python, we have a beautiful function called input, right? So input is the beautiful functions we have here for accepting input. Hey, what's your name? Right. So input is a function which accepts a string here, and what it does, I'll just show you. Can you see a cursor? Right. So the tutorials cannot have the same name, right? Please avoid my random answers while I'm giving these sessions, right? So guys, there's a function called input, right? What input does? Input does two things, right? It does two things, right? It prints the message and waits the cursor, right? The cursor waits for the user input, right? Right. So it does two things here, right? So it prints the message and waits the cursor for the user input, right? The best part, remember, when we were doing C++, we used to have different statements. Like for printing, there's a different function, and for accepting input, there is a different function. But in Python, it's super cool. We have single function for both the things. We can print the message, we can take the input, right? So it says, what's your name? Ahanda, there's a question from him. He says sometimes we use single quote, sometimes double, even sometimes triple as well, right, Ahanda? So just answering this question, I'm sorry, I'm just getting interrupted sometimes. In Python, this is string. This is also string. Just observe the quotes, guys. This is string 2. Observe the quotes, guys, right? So in Python, all the quotes are same, right? So you have single, you have double, you have triple. The only difference lies here, right? So you are allowed to give line breaks in triple quotes, right? You are allowed to give line breaks in triple quotes, but you're not allowed to give line breaks. But no, you cannot give line breaks in double quotes or single quotes. Otherwise, double and single both are same. But the difference here is that in triple quotes, you are allowed to give line breaks. That's it. So that's where the story ends. Okay, so let's type the name here. John Kennedy. I just got this name from somewhere. I don't know from where. Right. So this is how this works. Even you can put escape sequences here, right? Just for line break, you can see it's appearing in the next line. So I'll just write. Let's say. Okay, so that is Jim Carrey. Right? Okay, it's like that, right? So this is how it works. Now in the next phase, I'm going to show you exactly how you receive the inputs in a variable, right? So this is the expression, guys. Just observe the expression, right? Just observe the expression here. How to receive, right? Receive the input in a variable, right? So receive the input in a variable. So just learn the expression exactly. And in case if you're very new to programming, I would like to tell you that, dear, read the code from right to left, right? In case if you're very new to programming, the code always executes from right to left. So what I'm trying to say here is this is going to execute first of all, and whatever you're going to input is going to be stored inside data. Go from right to left. Yeah, I'll just show you, right? Print high data. So it says input. Right now the execution is lying here, right? I'm here right now. Assignment hasn't been done, so I'm going to type some name here. So for me it is going to be Leo, right? So when I hit enter, the input is going to store inside data. So the value of data will be Leo, and is going to print hi Leo. Oh, I'm right. Okay, so that's how we do inputs in what inputs in Python, right? What if I number value for name? It is going to be a number, right? So like if I enter a number, it's going to be a number, but in the string form like that. So I'll just proceed further, right? Let's do some math, right? So I'm going to do some math here, right? Okay, so let's say bag one, input, enter first number, right? So I'm going to accept a number here, bag two, right? Enter another number, right? All right. Big bag equals to bag one plus bag two. Print, hey, the sum is big bag. All right, everyone, you can see here, just follow the sequence carefully. Right now, the execution is lying here. Enter the first number. I say 7. So when I'm going to hit enter, it is going to be stored inside bag one. So the value bag one will be 7, and then it is here right now. It's saying enter another number. So whatever I'm going to enter is going to be stored inside bag two. Then the value of bag one and bag two, that is 7 plus 3. Let me count 7, 8, 9, 10. Right. So it is going to be stored inside big bang, and it is going to print, hey, the sum is big bang. Let's say the magic here, right? So hit enter. Is there something fishy here? I think so. Guys, can you detect the error here? This should be 10, I believe, as far as my math classes are being good, like in my school days. Yeah, absolutely true. So it is a string concatenation, right? So what I'm trying to say here is, right? Okay, whatever you input is string, no matter if you are typing numbers, right? So whatever you input is string. So here we need to do typecasting, everyone. That's absolutely true. So in case if you're still not clear, I'll just say you may think this is 5, but actually this is the representation, right? So there's a difference in this 5 and this 5. This 5 is integer, whereas this 5 is string. The difference is of codes here, right? The problem with the string is that no math, right? You cannot do math with these strings. Yes to math. Yes, we can do math operations on integers, right? So here we need to convert this to this. For that, we have a built-in function called int, right? So there's a function called int. What it does, it basically is going to ask you, give me an input which is in the string form, and I'll return you the integer form or the pure integer form of that particular value, so that you can do the math, right? So how to implement the same thing in Python? So we do it like this, right? Like bag one equals to int bag one, right? Not to be confused. Here, the bag one value is in string form. I'm converting into integer. I'm overriding the value of bag one, just using the same variable, saving the RAM memory. Right. I'll do the same thing with the bag two as well. Bag two, right? Like that. And then, if I execute the same thing, 7 and 3, beautiful. So here is the sum 10, right? Sanjay, we cannot define the type beforehand because there's no type specification. Yes, Ashish, that's absolutely true. We can use int function directly here. In case if my audience is okay with that, I will be really happy to do this shortcut. What does this means? This expression means, all right, take the input, convert it into integer, all right, store it in bag one, right? So the first line means this, right? So remember, guys, follow the left to right rule. Oh, sorry, right to left rule, right? So you take the input, convert it into integer. Apology for spelling mistake, and then store the input into bag one. It's like that, right? So we can do that. Okay. Okay, so it's working, right? So yeah, Sanjay, obviously we need to take care of the types. And as you gradually, experience or do the codes, you get to know these things and you used to it, right? It automatically happens. You automatically do all the stuff that is required for getting the right output. So it becomes the habit. All right. So everyone, what if Nupur, there's a question from Nupur. She says that what if Python cannot convert string into integer? In that case, it is going to raise an exception, and exception is basically the runtime error, right? So runtimes are really bad, right? They crash our programs, they terminate the programs, we lose the data. So to overcome this situation, there's a concept of exception handling. Okay. So there are a lot of questions. Yes, Kritika, all the inputs that you accept in Python are strings. Mostly, this happens generally with all the programming languages. Even if you are using Java, so in that also we have strings. In case if you are using the buffer reader class, it's always string. No, Jishnu, in that case, the ranjan will not be converted into integer, or the its ASCII value, it will be an exception. So what are the data types in Python? We have int long, we have int float, we have boolean, we have all the basic fundamental data structures. Apart from that, we have special data structures such as list, tuple, dictionaries, and sets, like that. Yeah, Mithilesh, I keep that thing to you, right? So that you can do some experiments. Okay, fine. No, no, Sukti. Okay, so is everything clear till here, everyone? I hope everybody has understood all the concepts here. Just confirm me, guys, right? So I just want to see your fingers moving so that, I'm assured that everybody is awake. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Okay, that's great, that's great. So Aparna says not getting for output. Okay, thank you, everyone. Aparna, please send a mail, right? Because I want to see the screenshot of your error in case. Madhuri says, can you give 5 minutes break? For that, I need to ask my coordinator, right, for the break because he's the, the guide of the session. Thank you, Sutik. Thank you very much. Okay. I'll just take a 10 minutes pause. Oh, sorry, 10 minutes. No, I'll take a 30 seconds pause here just to give you a time to think of what we have done. All right, back to the session, right? Okay, so Salai, that is because of high precision value we maintain in Python. It's not like the Java or other languages. We don't represent it in exponential form like e raised to power or something. So that's because of its high precision value, and that's why Python is considered to be versatile. Or you can also round the figure in two decimal places or three decimal places using the math library. That is always there. Oh my God, there are a lot of things going on. Hey, what's your name? Jim. Okay. Surabhi, I would like to know your Python version. I'm very much sure you're using 2.x, I believe. That's why you're getting the error. Reshma, as of now, in case if you've got Jupyter Notebook and Spider, and that is more than sufficient for for this session, for this lecture series. But in case if you're interested in having some more things, I want you to check the Python Conda version, which one you have installed. It must, if it is latest, you must get all the things. Abhishek, I for your question, Abhishek, I would like to uh, answer you to just repeat the video sessions, right? Because I've given a very good explanation of your question. Okay, Reshma says 3.7. That's absolutely true. Okay, Reshma, no worries, right? I just want you to just proceed with the Jupyter. That's okay. Pradnya, in case if you're getting the kernel error, I suggest you to restart the kernel from the kernel menu in the Jupyter. So the session will last not more than another half an hour, not more than that. I mean to say max till 11. Anand, I'm not able to see your error. Pradnya, in case if your kernel is restarting every time, if it is not working, I suggest you to go with the Spider IDE. It is okay, but or you can reinstall the Anaconda thing. So Ananda, the shortcut key for running the whole cell is Shift Enter or Control Enter. Both will work. Yeah, sure, Kritika. I'll do like that. In case if you have okay, first of all, right? First of all, you are not okay. There is a question, right? Okay. Upload files in Jupyter, right? So there's a question how to upload files in Jupyter. So it's like this. So you need to switch to your home directory, right? So when you switch to your home directory, you can create a folder here by going to the new, and you can create a folder. So it generally comes like this, like untitled folder. You can simply click the checkbox here, and if you want to rename it, you can rename from this button. Let's say a beautiful directory. So it is here, right? When you enter that directory, you can simply click on upload button here. There is a button called upload, right? And you can simply locate the files, and it will upload, right? So it can be your CSV data sets, it can be your other files that you are dealing with. Okay. So Vipul, in the next 30 minutes, I'll be talking about strengths mostly, right? So I'll be showing you some more string things, not dictionaries today. Satyam, I need to check your epsilon numbers, right? So that really is out of. Okay. Aparna, in case you need to check, right? Just send me the screenshot if in case if it is available, the options available here. Okay, notebooks, right? Sanjay, there is a question from Sanjay. He says notebooks, where are notebooks available? Wait, I'll just answer that thing. Okay, .ipynb file, right? So .ipynb file are is the extension of your notebooks, right? You can simply check it here also at the top screen. I'll just zoom it for all of you, right? So ipynb file like that. So, and these are generally stored in your home directory inside say this place. You can see here, right? So in your system, right? So under the users folder, there is a folder as per your current user, and that is the default location where all the files are stored, right? Or even if you simply copy and paste the required files here, you will see the files here in the home directory. Right? So you can go here, you will see it here. Jupyter is a IPython product, you can say, Satyam. Okay. Thank you, Saksham, for helping me out. Shikha, the URL is not accessible on any other computer because of its unique key code kind of thing, right? So it's kind of secure. But but we can do that if you extract the key. Okay. Sujit, because you're using Python 2 version, I believe, right? 2.x, probably 2.7. That's why it's coming like that. Okay, so Anand, the answer is to your question is shift enter. So that's how you execute the cell message. Okay, Sanjay. Okay. Okay, I'll come to that, right? Just let me finish this string part, right? This is the final one, I promise you. This is the final one. Python is awesome, right? So guys, here I'm going to show you some few things here, right? And just have some patience with me, right? Because when we talk about the data analytics part, especially, right? So when we talk about the data analytics part, you deal you deal with a lot of text manipulation, right? So if you're giving a huge data set and you are supposed to do some kind of mining into that data set, right? So you need to deal with text manipulation, or sometimes we call it string manipulation. So I'm just going to share some of the things here, right? So just have some patience with me, right? So here there's a variable called message, right? It's going to be fun, I promise. So here there is a variable called message, and there is a very value here. Python is awesome, right? Okay, just visualize it as a character array, right? So sometimes some people call it array, right? So I don't know why. Okay, thank you, Pritika. So visualize it as character array. So if I ask you what is the value at index position 1, so what is the answer? What is the value at index position 1 of this message variable? If you visualize this at character array, index position 1. All right, great. Okay, that's great. So I'm getting a lot of answers here, but unfortunately, the answer is not P or is. The answer is Y, right? The answer is Y. Why it is Y? Because I said char array or character array. So what does it mean basically? It basically means that every index is going to hold one character. So it's like sweet. So it's like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 like that. Okay, good. Okay, so that gives you a clear picture of exactly what I'm talking about here, right? So and one more thing, exactly, and about that's true. Our index starts at 0 position, right? So it's like that. So I'll just go back to my previous state. So here message, and I'm going to show you exactly a few things here. So you can see at the 0 index we have P, and at the 1 index we have Y. So because when you're new to Python, you need to learn the expressions, guys. So my objective to tell you this thing is because I want to show you the expressions, right? So how expressions are, wrote or typed in Python. Yes, subject string is mutable. It is always, it is everywhere. It is mutable, right? So it's like that. Okay. So I hope you understood this expression. So or what I can do is, right. And yes, there was a question also, like if you don't use the print statement, still it is going to print, right? If you don't use the print statement, it is going to print, and if you use print, it still prints, right? So that is one of the silly explanations we have here. But this expression basically overrides every new expression, right? So Srikant, there is a question which says that what is meant by mutable? Mutable is mutable basically means read only, right? So you are not allowed to make changes in the variable memory, like that. Strings are not mutable. Strings are mutable, right? Like that. No change. Okay, fine. Now, apart from that, let's see some more expressions here, right? 2:6. Right, so here you can see here this expression. Okay, guys, just getting you familiar with the expressions here, right? What it says, start index n minus 1, right? So, or index minus 1, right? It's like that. Just follow the sequence, right? So if you follow this expression, you will understand that immutable, I'm sorry, did he ask mutable? I'm sorry. Okay. Mutable means can be changed, immutable means can't be changed, right? I'm just correcting myself. Apologies for the wrong definition. Okay. So guys, in this expression, 2 is the start index. So at the 2 position, we have t, and the 6 is index minus 1. So when I say 6, so the 6th index is space. So space minus 1, and that is n. So it's like that. So thon, right? So Python kind of thing, right? Just learn the expressions, guys, right? Just learn the expressions. Message colon 6. Right. What does it means? It basically means, from beginning to n minus 1, right? Or the index minus 1. So guys, can I ask you, like, what this is going to print? Let's do some things here. Ramya, we cannot overwrite the strings. That's not allowed. Python, that's true. That's true. Great, yeah. I can see a very challenging team here, right? A lot of people are picking up. I hope the new people or the newbies are also picking up, right? So it's like that. So it prints Python, right? Okay. And finally, into 2, you can see here, right? So message 2, right? So this is something multiplying the value itself, multiplying the value into value. It's like concatenation kind of thing. Yes, Satish, we can use plus as well, but not here. Right? Okay. Now, okay. Print the length of string, right? Length function, right? So it's like this. So it includes spaces as well, right? So length of string is length function. So we have length function here for getting the length, right? And the best part, right? -1. I was about to come here, Somo. Okay. This is something which is incredible about Python, because it allows you, it lets you access the values from the reverse, right? So here -1 is going to access the end character of the string. So here it is E, right? So in case if you're not still clear, you can go reverse, -2, so it's going to print M, right? So we are going to we are getting reverse in this case, right? So this is how it goes like. So yes, this is the Python session, guys, and I tried my best to explain to the people, and this thing is really interesting, right? So, and I hope you got the idea exactly how it is working. And I'm going to conclude this session. And before concluding the session, I'm going to uh, just give you some assignments here, right? Some experiment or some practice questions, right? So first of all, I would like to encourage everyone here to
Hello, Rajan. Rajan,
yeah,
just a second. So I'm launching a poll right now. So guys, just take around 10-15 seconds and just answer the poll, please.
sure. Guys, there is a poll which is being raised, right? Oh my God. All right, so there's a poll. Please answer the poll, right? And the very important part is to be honest. References, there are a lot of references available over the internet. All there are common popular references available, such as tutorials point and a lot of things. Yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you very much. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to share some practice questions with the upGrad team, right? And I'll ask the team to, send you those practice questions. And till the time you are not getting those questions, I encourage please do some basic math questions in Python, right? Yeah, I will explain Nivas loops in my next coming sessions. It is a part of this session series. Sanjay, before coming to the second session, please, I request everyone just be comfortable with the basic input output, right? So when I say input output, like printing a messages, except the inputs, just some basic math, 2 plus 2, calculating the squares, right? So such as simple interest, you can do simple interest, right? Just giving you some ideas, right? So you can calculate some physics, force equals to mass into acceleration, right?
Okay, guys, I'm ending the poll. Thank you, Rajan. You can continue now.
Yeah, sure. Right. And yeah, Basha, I'll be sending you some tough questions as well, right? Some tough questions, and I'll send you questions in Chinese, Basha. How about that? All right. Just a humor, right? Just a humor. Let me check the Q&A part as well. Okay. Find the benefits of Python. Abhishek, you'll find the benefits of Python in my recorded session, right? And just see the sessions from the beginning, right? Okay. There was a question, right? Okay, Satya. There was a question from one of the participants. He asked me that how we can write the Python, files uh, uh, externally, and how we can, execute the Python files. Okay, so here is the answer. So let's say we have a Python file here, print hello from external source of life. Right, so this is a file. Let's say if I have, right, so I'm just going to save it in my D drive, hello.py. This is the extension that I'm going to give, right? So hello.py, and I'm going to open Anaconda. From here, in the Anaconda navigator, I'll go to the environments tab. I'll go to this display button. Oops, I unfortunately clicked on that. Okay, just allow me a minute. It's building. Oopsie. Why it is not showing that thing? Just a second, guys. Okay, I'll go to an account of prompt in that case. I'll switch to D drive. Wait. Okay, Python hello.py. So, okay, there was a question from one of the participants. He asked me that in case if I, that's a lot of notepads. If I, code some external py file or the Python file, So how can I execute from external sources, right? So for that, I opened Anaconda prompt, right? So this is the prompt that you get with Anaconda. You switch to the drive where you save the file and simply write Python space file name, and you get the output from your Python file. Okay, so yes, thank you, Sanjay, for answering. We have the next class on 20th of Feb, right? So 20th Feb will be the class, and this 20th of Feb is designed keeping the schedule is designed keeping the practice time should be available with the participants, right? Okay, can you please share the command to read a text file from a folder? Is that dir you're talking about, Falak? I'm not sure. Yes, I'll try to keep some mini projects here, right? Not the majors can't be completed in short-term series, but many, I'll try my best. Keshava, it's not tomorrow, right? Session is not planned sequentially because, upGrad really wanted to give time to the participants to practice, right? All right. So, Aviral, Pranav, I'm sorry, Pranav, are you online?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
Rajan.
Yeah, I would like to conclude the session now. I think we are done with the session, and a lot of questions I've answered. And
Mm-hmm.
thank you, everyone. Right? Thank you for listening to me. Right? I really enjoyed the session. It was really a good time to share the experiences, and I hope I'll score the maximum number of smiles available here. Right? And thank you, and sleep well. Good night. Happy learning. Thank you,
Thank you,
Pranav.
Rajan. So guys, please fill the feedback form after the session, right? And thank you all and have a great day and good night, guys. Bye bye.